Good morning, everybody, and happy Saturday. I am Coach Ray. Thank you for joining me for today's stick mobility class. So, hold on a second. So, for today's class, we are going to need 2 long sticks. I will be showing some demonstrations on if you only have 1 stick. I do have a pad for us to kneel on because we are going to need this later on. You also can't see it, but I actually have a bench right there. We are going to be using that because we're going to be doing some Bulgarian split squats. Fun stuff, right? So the main focus is actually going to be specifically hip dominant. We're going to do some balance drills as well, but we're just going to mainly focus on hip flexion. We're going to focus on hip abduction, working on some internal external rotation, working on strengthening those end ranges, and kind of go on from there. And so for our cool down, you guys know I love rotations. We're going to do a lot of rotational drills here, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to place that down. I'm going to take both sticks, okay? Both long sticks. We're going to start at the feet and ankles first since we are going to be doing primarily standing drills. So I'm going to go with a wide stance, okay? A little wider than shoulder width. Now the width of the sticks are at roughly about shoulder width, and I'll have my feet angled forward. Now what I want to do here, I'm going to sit down a little bit, make sure my pelvis is stacked under my spine, all right? So we're going to go back and forth between raising our heels. So let's bring our left heel up off the floor as high as we can on the ball and toes of our foot, and then drop the left heel and bring the right heel up at the same time. Good. And that left heel goes all the way down to the floor. So switch, left heel up, right heel all the way down. Good. Right heel up, left heel all the way down. Good. Switch. Switch. Good. Switch. Switch. Excellent. Switch. And switch one last time. Slowly bring that right heel down. Excellent. Now we're going to get into laterally shifting the heels, okay? So from here, stay in that same position. I'm going to work on my right ankle first. I like to go 1 ankle at a time. So bring that right heel up, okay? Now we're just going to be moving our heel side to side, just our heel, right? So move that heel inwards. So now we're on the big toe. Then I'm going to move that heel outwards. Now I'm on the pinky toe. Move the heel inwards towards our center line. Move the heel outwards away from our center line. Good. Move it inwards. Good. Move it outwards. Move it inwards one more time. And move it outwards. Back to center. Drop that heel down. Bring the left heel up. We're going to do that same thing. Move the left heel in. Good. Now move it out. Make sure you breathe. Move in. And move out. Good. Move in. Move out. One more time each way. Move in. Excellent. And move out. Back to center. Drop that heel down. Perfect. I'm going to turn to the side. So now we're going to focus on pelvic tilts here, okay? So our stance is actually going to be close at first. So I'm going to have roughly about a hip width stance, hip to shoulder width, and we're actually going to widen our stance out as we go into it, right? So I'm going to take that roughly hip width stance, hip to shoulder width stance. Sticks are going to be angled in towards me, right? Now, from here, what I want to do, I want to make sure I'm driving the sticks into the ground. So I'm going to drive the sticks down, about 20 to 30% tension, sit the hips down a little bit, okay? So keep that rib cage locked in. Don't let that rib cage flare up and down. Keep it locked down, arms straight, do a posterior tilt. So I'm going to tuck my pelvis in, squeeze my glutes, okay? Now I'm gonna tuck the opposite way. So I'm gonna do an anterior tilt. You should feel those lower back tissues tighten, okay? Posterior tilt. Good, anterior tilt. Breathe, posterior tilt. Anterior tilt. Posterior tilt again. Anterior tilt. Good. Back to neutral. Now we're going to widen out our stance. So let's go wider than shoulder width. Okay. This creates more of a challenge on the hips and pelvis. Sticks are still angling towards our toes. All right. Same thing. Drive the sticks down. Sink into it. Okay. Pelvis act under the spine. Neutral. Posterior tilt. Drive those knees away from one another. So we're getting into that hip abduction. Anterior tilt. Excellent. Posterior tilt. Good. Anterior tilt. Posterior tilt. Tuck it in. Squeeze the glutes. Anterior tilt. One more time each way. Posterior tilt. Good. Anterior tilt. Back to center. Now I'm going to go into a light posterior. We're going to do hip lateral tilts here. So I'm going to bump my right hip up towards the ceiling. Left hip should drop. Then I'm going to bump my left hip up towards the ceiling. Right hip should drop. Bump up to the right. Right glute should be firing here. Bump up to the left. So driving those sticks down. Bump up to the right. Good. Bump up to the left. One more time each way. Bump up to the right. Excellent. Bump up to the left. Good. Back to center. And relax here for a second. Okay? So I'm going to place one stick down. We're going to need one stick for this next drill. It's going to loosen up that spine a little bit here, right? So what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to take roughly about a shoulder width, maybe a little wider stance, okay? I'm going to have the stick outside of my left foot here. So the stick, the bottom of the stick is in line with my big toe here, okay? In terms of drawing a line. Now my hand is going to be roughly about forehead height, right? It's going to depend on you and your flexibility. So keeping that left arm straight, I want to lightly drive the stick into the floor. It's going to activate that arm line and activate the lateral chain here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start to hinge back, and a stick is going to come to my side. I don't want the stick overhead. I want it coming towards my rib cage here, right? So now we're going to get that stretch in the pec, the shoulder, maybe even the bicep if you're a little tight. You're going to allow that right hand to hang down. What we're going to do is we're going to tension into a rotation. So I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to bring it across the stick and driving the left hand down. So I'm getting rotation. Now I'm going to bring that right hand back down and I'm going to come up nice and slow. And we're going to go back into it again. So hinge. Good. Bring that stick in close to the body. Get that stretch in the chest. Bring that right hand across. Reach. Reach to 9 o'clock. Back down. Come back up. Excellent. One more time. Still driving that stick down. Not a lot, just a little bit. Reach across with that right hand to 9. Good. Back down. Come back up. And ease off. I'm going to kind of do this from the side here, so you get to kind of see what that looks like. So, same thing. Sticks in my right hand, okay, roughly about forehead height. arm straight, lightly drive the stick down into the floor. Keep it light, right? About 20% tension. Let's go ahead and hinge back. Bring the stick towards the rib cage, okay? If you're finding that the stick is up overhead here, think about pulling it down towards your hip. Now with that left hand, we're gonna do that same thing. Reach across to 3 o'clock, driving that right hand down to the floor a little harder. Good, back down, come up. Excellent, go back into it again. Let's go ahead and hinge. Good. Reach across to 3 o'clock. Good. Bring the hand back down. Stand back up. Good. Let's go again. Hinge. Breathe. Reach that left hand to 3 o'clock. Drive that right hand down. Good. Back down. Stand back up. Excellent. Good. Now we're going to work with a little bit of lateral flexion here. So I'm going to take the stick, place it behind my upper back. I'm going to reach my hands out as far as I can here, right? You don't need to grip the stick. You can just have your hands resting on top of the stick like so. Now, I'm going to take horse stance, a little wider than shoulder width, drop my hips down a bit, squeeze the glutes, make sure everything's tight. I'm going to laterally tilt, so I'm going to tilt my right hand or right side of the stick down towards my right foot. Now I'm going to come back up. Now I'm going to tilt to the left. Now, the tilt shouldn't be super major, right? The movement's relatively small. We're just trying to get different movement patterns for the spine. Tilt to the left. Keep that spine up nice and tall. Hips shouldn't move. It's just the rib cage. Good. Make sure you're breathing here. Doing good, doing good. Excellent. Let's go one more time. Back up and relax. Now, I'm going to take the stick and place it behind my mid back. So now I'm going to grip the stick. We're going to do a slap shot, but we're going to do a little bit of a flow variation here, okay? So I'm going to take a wide stance, and again, this is going to be whatever's most comfortable for you, right? We're not trying to go to that range of pain here. So from here, I'm going to hinge my hips back, okay? Soft bend to the knees, right? Don't want to lock the knees out. We're just going to hang out here for a second, allow the hamstrings to stretch a bit. Right? Focus on breathing, right? Good breath patterns. Now, what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to rotate the left end of the stick down to my center line, place it down, okay? And I'm going to pull the stick apart. I'm going to lunge to my left. So I'm going to get that stretch in the chest here, sit in my hips back, okay? I'm going to lunge to my right. Now, as I do that, I'm going to rotate my left foot. So, lunge to the right, rotate that left foot in, squeeze that left glute. So now we're getting some hip extension, a little bit of lean back. Good. Then I'm going to set back to center. Now I'm going to come out of that. Now I'm going to rotate the right end down. So, rotate the right end of the stick down to your center line. Pull stick apart. Lunge to the right. Good. Lunge to the left. Rotate that right foot in. Squeeze that right glute. Keep that stick along the upper back. Good. Come back to center. Go ahead and come out nice and slow. Let's go again. One more time here. Let's try to get that left end of the stick a little further across the center line, if you can. Okay? Lunge to the left. Good. Now lunge to the right, rotate that left foot. You're gonna feel a little bit of a stretch in the front of the hip. Good. Back to center. Now we're gonna do this to the right, so right side. So rotate that right end of the stick, cross the center line if you can. Lunge to the right. Get that rotation, get that stretch in that rib cage, that chest. Lunge to the left, rotate the feet, squeeze that right glute. Excellent. Back to center. Good. Stand up, squeeze those glutes. Wiggle those feet in. Perfect. Awesome. So now we're going to get into the hip drills here. So what we're going to do is, this is going to be a balance drill. So we're going to use the first rep or two just to kind of warm up, and then we're actually going to start to incorporate that balance, right? Keeping that tension. So we're going to need 2 sticks for this. If you have only 1 stick, the stick is going to be on the side of the hip that's not grounded, right? So if I'm working with that right foot first, the stick's going to be on the right side, all right? Now, we're just going to start simply with hip flexion, okay? So I'm going to have my feet together, okay? I want the bottoms of the sticks angled in towards my toes, okay? So from here, I want to make sure I'm staying up nice and tall, okay? Knees locked out. Hands are roughly about shoulder height. If you want more of a challenge, you can bring them up, but I won't suggest that right now. So first thing we're going to do, shoulders down, rib cage down, drive both sticks into the floor, about 50% tension. We're going to keep that right foot grounded, okay? So we're going to bring that left hip up, and I want to hold that position. 3, 2, 1, back down, and ease off. Good. We're going to go again, okay? So arms straight, shoulders down, drive those sticks into the floor, bring that left hip up. 3, 2, 1, back down, and ease off. Here's where it gets more challenging. We're going to lift the sticks as we're in hip flexion. So as our left hip is up, we're first going to lift the right stick, then the left stick, then both sticks, okay? You want to try to keep that knee up as high as you can here. So from here, get set in your position, generate that tension, drive those sticks into the floor, 50% tension here, okay? Bring that left hip up. Good. Lift the right stick off the floor, hold. Good, place it back down. Now the left stick. Place it back down. Lift both. Good, place both sticks down. And bring that left hip down. And ease off. Good. We're gonna go again, one more time here. All right, so activate, drive the sticks into the floor. Keep that tension. Bring that left hip up. Lift the right stick. Back down. Lift the left. Whoa. Good. Place it back down. Lift both. Place back down. And come out nice and slow. Ease off. Good. We're going to switch sides. So now I'm going to face forward here. First two reps, just going to get that hip flexion. Arms straight, drive shoulders down, push sticks into the floor, lift that right hip up. 3, 2, 1. Back down. Ease off. Good. Take a second. Go again. Drop both sticks down. Bring that right hip up. 3, 2, 1. Back down. And ease off. Good. Now we're going to do that same, go through those same cues. All right? So drive the sticks down. Right hip up. Lift the left stick. Good. Place it back down. Drive it into the floor. Lift it right. Good. Place it back down. Lift both. Place both sticks down. Bring that foot to the floor. Ease off. Good. Let's go one more here. All right. Arms straight. Drive those sticks into the floor. Bring that right hip up. Lift the left stick. This is actually the easy one. Bring it down. Lift the right. Place it back down. Lift both. Bring them both back down. Bring the right foot down. And ease off. Good. Excellent. So now we're going to work on hip abduction. So now we're going to get into those glutes. All right. I'm going to have my feet together. I'm going to have the sticks lined up with the mid part of my foot. And just notice that the sticks are angled quite a bit, right? So the sticks are roughly about a foot away from the outside of my foot here. I want to have my hands roughly about shoulder height. And again, if we want to go more of a challenge, we could bring our hands up even more, lengthening that lever. But let's start here. So I'm going to drive the sticks down with about 60% tension. So I'm going to push. Don't let your shoulders come up. Keep them down. Okay? Ribs down as well. I'm going to bring my left foot to the left stick. From here, push with the outside of your foot. Keep that right leg straight. Push it with about 60% tension. 3, 2, 1. We're going to ease off and relax. Okay. Move that left stick out a couple of inches. Increase that distance. Same thing. Drop both sticks down, 60%. Push. Push with the left foot. Drive against that stick, 60% tension. Push, push, push. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Back in. Ease off. Move that stick out a couple more inches here. All right. Same thing. Drive the sticks down, 60%. Bring that left foot to the left stick. Push. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Back in. Ease off. Move the left stick back into its original spot. Gonna move on to the right side now. Okay? So drop both sticks down, 60%, push. Bring the right foot to the right stick. Drive. And you want to keep that ankle dorsiflexed, pointing forward, not rotating that hip out. Good, and ease off. Move the stick out a couple inches. Okay, same thing, drop both sticks down, 60%, bring that right foot to the right stick, push. Push with 60%, keep pushing. Good, and ease off. Excellent. Move the stick out a couple more inches if you can. All right, same thing. Drop those sticks down, bring that right foot to the right stick, push. We want to try not to lean, right? We want to stay as upright as we can. Good, 3, 2, 1, back in, and ease off. We're not done here though. So, what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna bring my left foot behind the stick, keeping that leg straight, and I'm gonna bring it up to my side as much as I can here. So, kind of this motion here, right? We're gonna do it in repetitions, okay? So we're not gonna do a long hold at the top. So from here, hands are in the same position. Drive both sticks down, 60%, okay? I'm gonna take my left foot, place it behind the left stick. I'm gonna externally rotate that left hip. Now from here, I'm gonna naturally push forward into the left stick, or push my foot forward to the left stick. I'm gonna bring it up. Good, back down. That's 1. Again, bring it up. Back down. 2, bring it up. 3, 2 more, bring it up. 4, last one, bring it up. And 5, slowly come out and ease off. Woo. Shake your hip out a little bit. All right, let's switch sides, okay? Now we're gonna go with the right side, step over a little bit more. Same thing, drive the sticks down 60%. Take that right foot, place it behind the right stick. Make sure that that hip is externally rotated, okay? All right, bring it up. Back down. It's 1. Up. Down. 2. Up. Down. It's 3. 2 more. Up. Down. 4. One more time. Down. 5. Slowly come out. Ease off. Good. Glutes are probably going to be firing a little bit here. That's a good thing. We're now going to segue into the Bulgarian split squat. So I'm just going to adjust this camera here a little bit. So now it's more like that. Okay. So I'm going to move the bench forward. We do not need the pad. I'm going to take both sticks. Now you can do this with one stick, again, kind of like with the hip drill. You want the stick on the side of the leg that's actually going to be on the bench here, okay? So your distance is going to depend on you, all right? Some people go with a longer distance or stepping out more. Some people go closer. Again, it's going to be very varied on you. So both sticks, I want to angle them in towards whatever foot is going to be forward, whatever grounded foot. So I'm going to have my right foot on the bench, okay? I'm going to have my left foot grounded. Now, I want to make sure I'm grabbing the ground with my toes. I want to keep an active foot position. Now my hands are going to be about 90 degrees here, okay? Our arms are going to be at 90 degrees, not my hands. Sorry about that. So what I'm going to do from here, I'm not going to generate tension into the floor right now, but I'm going to lower myself into that bottom position. And I'm going to straighten out my arms. Now from here, I'm going to drive the sticks down with 60% tension. And I still want to make sure I'm driving or have force production in that left foot. Now I'm going to hover the sticks. Hold, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to push up off that front leg and then place the sticks back down. Okay? Let's go again. Lower into that position. Drive the sticks down, 60%. Push. Good. Lift the sticks. Make sure you keep that knee lined up with the mid-toe. Good. Push up off that front leg. Excellent. Place the sticks back down. If you're having any knee discomfort, don't go down as far. or to simply switch over into a regular split squat. Okay, lower into the position, drive the sticks down. Good, lift the sticks. Good, push up. Place the sticks back down. Just go one more for good measure. Lower yourself down. Drive sticks into the floor. Good, lift the sticks. Should be driving that front foot into the floor. Good, push up. And place the sticks down and come out of position. Now we're gonna switch sides. So line your right foot up with your left. Bring that left foot to the bench here. So, same thing, you wanna make sure you keep that grounded foot active here, all right? Make sure we get that ankle stability. So from here, same thing, gonna lower myself into position, drive the sticks down, push. Lift the sticks. Good, push up. Place the sticks down. Let's go again. Lower yourself down. Remember to keep that knee aligned with the mid toe. Drive the sticks into the floor. Lift the sticks. Come up. Place the sticks back down. That's two. Let's go two more. Lower yourself down. Drive the sticks into the floor. Lift the sticks. Press up. Good. Place sticks down. One more time. Lower yourself down. Drive sticks into the floor. Push. Lift the sticks. Good. Press up. Place sticks down and ease off. Good. Take a second, shake the legs out. Now we're gonna go to the ground. We're gonna focus on some rotation. So I'm gonna need one stick for this. Okay. So I'm going to move the bench over. Don't need the pad for now. So if you have a wall, something stable for you to press into, this is the perfect time to get to it. I'm gonna turn the camera a bit, right? Now, I'm gonna go down to the floor. Now we can start on whatever side, but I'm gonna start with laying on my left side here, okay? Now, I got the bottom of the stick angled into what would effectively be a corner of a wall. So it's strong for us to anchor into. I'm gonna have my left leg straight and I'm gonna bring my right knee up and I wanna have it about 90 degrees here, okay? Now, what I wanna do is I wanna use the stick as a way to trap that right leg down. So, I'm going to generate tension by pulling my my left hand, down towards the floor at the same time pushing into the wall here. Now, I'm trapping that right hip, keeping it from moving. With this right hand, I'm gonna reach forward. And then I'm gonna open up and rotate to my right. Wanna focus on your breathing. I'm gonna come back over. I'm gonna go again. Breathe out as you rotate, so deep breath in. Open up and rotate and exhale. Good. The objective is not to get the hand to touch the floor, but the shoulder, okay? Let's go a couple more here. We're gonna switch it to a sweeping. So I'm going to sweep my right hand up, overhead, rotate down. Make sure you're breathing. Sweep that hand back up. Bring it forward. Let's go again. Sweep that hand. Good. Make sure you're breathing. Bring it back up. Excellent. And ease off. We're going to switch sides here. Now, in terms of how much tension you're generating, you're actually not really generating a lot. Just enough to make sure that that hip and low back don't move as we go into the rotation here. So, right leg straight. If you need help pinning the stick down, you can place your bottom leg on top of the stick here, like so. But I'm just gonna have my right leg straight, get set up in that same position. So I'm gonna pull that right hand down towards the floor, push the stick down, reach forward with the left, I'm gonna open up and rotate. Remember, one side's typically gonna be tighter. Good, I'm gonna come back forward. Let's go again. Make sure you breathe. Good, rotate forward. Now we're gonna sweep, so sweep that left hand up. Bring it over. Bring it back up and over to the front. One more time. Sweep with the left. Breathe. Come back up. Excellent. And ease off. Good. Now we're going to work on those adductors a bit. This is where the pad comes into play. So we are going to do the Guitar Hero. You're all a little familiar with this, right? So I'm going to start with my left leg out, right hip up front. So the alignment is you want to make sure that that left hip is in line with the right. We don't want the foot to be in front of the hip. We want that foot to be aligned with it so we're sinking directly into our side here. Now, the bottom of the stick is going to be angled out outside of my hip. Now, how far it's angled out is going to be a little dependent on you. However, I like to angle it out a little bit, maybe about 1.5 feet from the outside line of my hip. I'm going to have my left hand extended here. Now, I'm going to squeeze that right glute just a little bit, keep a little tension. And from here, my right hand is right in front of my right hip. Okay, maybe a little bit more towards the center line. I'm going to sink into my left hip here, okay? So I'm shifting directly laterally. And now I'm going to drive that right hand down towards the floor, creating a flex in the stick, creating a little bit more tension in those adductors. I'm going to ease off, then I'm going to come back up. Okay, now we're going to sink into it a couple more times. So sink into that left hip. Excellent. Drive that right hand down towards the floor. And we're going to reflexively be pulling up with the left hand. Make sure you breathe. Good. Slowly come out. Let's go one more time. Sink into it. Should be getting a little bit more range. Drive that right hand down towards the floor. Good thing about this, at the same time, we also get that left ankle. 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Let's switch sides. Okay, awesome, good job. So, I'm actually gonna go from a side profile so you can see what plane my hips are actually moving in as I'm doing this here. So, from here, remember, the hips need to stay even here, need to stay level. It's really important for this particular drill. Right hand is out, okay? Back foot is down. I want to lightly squeeze that left glute just to keep that hip in extension a little. Sink into that right side. Good. Drive that left hand down towards the floor. Good. Slowly come out. Excellent. Let's go into it again. Sink into that right hip. Drive that left hand down towards the floor. Good. Slowly come out. Let's go one more time. Sink into that right hip. Drive that left hand down towards the floor. Breathe. Good. Slowly come out. Excellent. I'm going to turn forward, still using the pad. Now we're going to focus on some half kneeling rotations. So, with this one, it's going to be a little tricky to get into. We've done this from a standing position, so we're going to do this from a half kneeling. So, I'm going to bring the stick, so I have my left leg forward, right leg back. I'm going to think about the rule of the stick needs to be on the outside of both legs. So, it's going to come out from the outside of my left leg, sneak it through to the outside of my right leg here, okay? Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to reach across with that right hand, okay? Now, you can adjust your position if you need to, so see how I just adjust a little bit, get a little wider. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up and back a bit, squeeze that right glute, drive that back foot down. Now, from here, I'm going to rotate, open up to my left. Good. Come back forward, same thing. Rotate, open up to my left. You should be driving that front leg against the stick here. Good. One more time. Rotate to my left. Come back forward, and I'm going to ease off. Excellent. Let's go to switch sides. Okay. Stick comes to the outside of both legs. Sneak it through from the outside here. Okay. So make whatever adjustments you need to. Draw that back foot down, squeeze that left glute. All right, let go with the right hand. Rotate back. Make sure you're still breathing here. Come back forward. Rotate back again. Good, come back forward. Last one. Rotate back. Good. Come back forward and ease off. Perfect. Now, just want to do, while we're in the same position, a little bit of a hang here. So, I'm going to have the stick lined up with my left hip here, okay, out to the side. I'm going to have my left hand up as high as I can grab, right, or I can grab a little lower, right, depending on how deep you can get into the stretch. So my right foot, I want to make sure that it's angled in a position where it doesn't inhibit the stretch here. So, hold that left hand up. I'm going to place my right hand on the stick here. I'm going to drop my left hip down towards the bottom of the stick. So from here, take a deep breath in. Exhale. Sink into the stretch. We're getting that lateral line here. Breathe. Good. Slowly come up and out. Switch sides. So now left leg is forward, right leg is down. Make sure that stick is in line with the hips, okay? Place the left hand on the stick. We're gonna sink into it. Make sure you're breathing here. Breathe, good. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and come out. Nice and easy. Perfect. And stand up. And that concludes today's Sigma Mobility class. Thank you everybody for joining. Hope everybody had a good class today. And I will catch you guys next time. Stay safe out there. Have a good one.